So the first thing to understand is that burnout, a lot of times when people feel burnt out, the first thing that they'll experience is a lack of energy. And this is a really common problem with people who are burnt out, is that they tend to devalue or make excuses for what they experience. So that's like kind of the first thing to understand about burnout. We'll kind of feel like low energy. Like I can get up, but it's not really a problem because I can go to work. I just feel kind of tired when I go to work. It's not like I'm getting bad performance reviews. You know, I'm doing okay at work. I kind of come home. It's not like I can't have fun. I do enjoy, you know, hanging out with my friends. I kind of enjoy going for a walk, but life kind of feels like flat with people who are burnt out. The second thing, this is what's really fascinating about what research has revealed, is the first thing that happens, the first phase of burnout is actually a lack of empathy. So what this sort of leads to, what this manifests as, is a bunch of cynicism. Researchers have discovered that people who are burnt out tend to be very, very cynical about their job. And what we sort of see is that there's like this kind of like empathic lack of empathy that sort of results in kind of a negative view of the world. So it's kind of like, yeah, I can still do my job, but it's not going to go well. Stuff is going to get screwed. There are going to be delays, and all that stuff can be true, right? Because that can still be true, but it's the cynicism with which you view it. It's sort of like this fatalistic, kind of hopeless, everything is just going to go to shit no matter what I do kind of attitude. And when you sort of have that cynicism, it makes it very hard for you to be empathic towards other people, right? So when your colleague like drops the ball, it's very hard to sort of be empathic towards them because like you have no bandwidth left, right? All your energy is already run out. You're kind of like low on energy to begin with. If we really think about empathy, empathy requires energy for other people. So the first thing is a lack of energy. The second thing is a lack of empathy and cynicism, okay? The third thing that we tend to see with burnout is a sort of a lack of enjoyment or sense of fulfillment with your job. People who, generally speaking, on paper like their job, but find it to be unfulfilling in some fundamental way. So this is what I kind of think about these three things as like the classic occult burnout. And what I mean by occult is it's kind of hidden, right? It's sort of like you don't really realize that you're burnt out because you're able to go to work every day. You're able to do okay. You know, you maybe have a short fuse. This is another thing that we tend to see a lot, is a short fuse is a very, very common sign of burnout. So it's not depression, it's not sadness, it's not like inability to do work, but I tend to have a short fuse, I tend to be a little bit cynical. You know, this is sort of what burnout looks like. So if you're someone who kind of experiences these three things, the first is a lack of energy despite the ability to do work. And this is really tricky because it doesn't, a lot of people think like, oh, as long as I'm able to work, I'm fine, right? So that's why burnout is kind of like flying under the radar there. So it's a lack of energy. The second thing is a lack of empathy, which tends to go first, actually, before you even run out of energy. Empathy is going to be the first thing that goes. Sort of a cynical attitude and a lack of fulfillment, despite on paper, oftentimes enjoying your job. Okay? So this is what characterizes burnout.